Everywhere punishment. Now I will Tamil Nadu also, Vaikoji, I will go with you also. But your colleague, Nirmala Sitharamanji, is not supporting Tamil Nadu either. Yes. Now, there are so many arrears with regard to the Kerala government and other southern states.
Wait, you are from Communist Party, at least have this kind of a gratitude to remember this. When Namboodiripal's government was thrown out by the Congress, until today, old as that, not this. Metro abhi chalu nahi hai. Metro chalu nahi hai. Paisa kiske liye? You should never forget it as long as you're fighting for your ideology. A minute ago you said, in ideology we'll fight with you. Arey, ideology bhul gaye aap.
I never expected the Honorable Finance Minister, who is from Tamil Nadu, who has leanings in Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh, would be part of this game of discrimination. Sir, I will tell you, Madam, I will tell you, despite having 18% of population, we almost contribute 35% to the GDP. What we get in back, sir. 2011, as per 1971 census, we used to get 3.875%. Now it has plummeted to 1.925%. That means Kerala, the share of Kerala has gone half. Why? Because the matrix of the 2011 census was used. Because we controlled the population, Kerala was punished. Everywhere punishment. Now I will Tamil Nadu also, Vaikoji, I will go with you also. But your colleague, Nirmala Sitharamanji, is not supporting Tamil Nadu either. Yes. The point I will tell you, ma'am, centrally sponsored scheme, it's a sham. It's a sham, I will tell you. You want to usurp into concurrent subjects and state lists through this centrally sponsored scheme. Yes. I can tell you, 2014-15, it was 1.95 lakh crore. That was centrally sponsored schemes allocation. Now it is almost 5 lakh crore. And for that, we will have to put in 40%, 50%. And we will have to brand their schemes as though it is their own. That's his tamasha. Madam, 71 projects were under VGF, viability gap funding. In that, only Vidinyam, they decided that whatever they pitched in, we will have to give back. That too with the profit share. Is this cooperative federalism, madam? Can it be called a cooperative federalism? Not even competitive federalism. This is the way this country is being run. I have serious objections, and I would say that now there are so many arrears with regard to the Kerala government and other southern states.
Kerala has never been, and I like to say this with a sense of responsibility, has never been supported better than this government, the way in which Prime Minister Modi has supported it. In terms of actual numbers, in terms of actual projects. And I'm not naming the project. There was a project, sir, where highway has been extended from one destination to a point, and from the other destination to this point, but midway, there was it the Kollam Junction or something? Which was waiting for 40 years. It was Prime Minister Modi who completed that little bit. It was litigated upon. From A to B, the road goes, but there is one little patch, which because it was in the courts and other things, every government gave excuses, it wasn't completed. Prime Minister Modi made sure that every hurdle was crossed legitimately. And that project was completed. 40 years for a road. That's fine, but wasn't it taken earlier? The initiative was not taken by state government earlier. It required Prime Minister Modi to come. Pehle karna tha na? Don't, please. 40 years they sat with it. Different central governments. They didn't do it at that time. State government also took initiative. Of course, it's your land. You will have to take initiative, but you didn't do it till before Prime Minister Modi came. So, sir, sir, I'll tell you. Sir, I'm sorry to have to bring this. I wouldn't have said it here in the House. And these are not my words. But it's hurting to hear Kerala repeatedly saying that you're discriminating against Kerala. You're discriminating even in our borrowing. April 1st, 2024, on a matter related borrowing limits, which is definitely supervised under Article 293. Sir, you are an expert on the Constitution. I don't need to talk. Article 293, Centre has the authority to look at the borrowings of the states. In that matter, they went to the Supreme Court, sir. And on April 1st, I'll just read two observations which were given. I never would imagine, I didn't think I'll be having a day when I have to say this, because all right, it happens in court, you have a difference, I have a difference, we go to the court. But repeated, in spite of giving all the facts, repeatedly alleging, oh, Prime Minister Modi doesn't do this for Kerala, doesn't do this. I want to quote the court's words. Supreme Court's own words. Quote, if the state has essentially created financial hardship, if the state, I repeat, if the state has essentially created financial hardship because of its own financial mismanagement, such hardship cannot be held to be an irreparable injury that would necessitate an interim relief against the union. I didn't say it, unquote. This is Supreme Court, sir. Another line that they said, we, again quote, we find prima facie that there is a difference in the mechanism which operates when there is underutilization of borrowing and when there is an overutilization of borrowing. The plaintiff, that is the state, Kerala, has not been able to demonstrate at this stage that even after adjusting the over-borrowing of the previous year, there is fiscal space to borrow, unquote. They thought they had more fiscal room to borrow and kept asking us. We said, you don't have the room. They went to the court, and the court said, prima facie, we don't. And the final quote, sir, again quote, we find prima facie merit in the submission of the Union of India that after inclusion of off-budget borrowing for the year 22-23 and adjustments for over-borrowing of the past years, the state has no unutilized fiscal space, and that the state has overutilized its fiscal space, unquote. Not my words, sir. And I wouldn't have wanted to bring this here because I want to work with the states, and I will say this again, I want to work with the states so that they are not in distress, but I have my limits under Article 293. And these are not my perception, court's words. One last quote from the CAG's audit report on Kerala state finances, report number 5, October 2024. I didn't intend to say it here, but when you repeatedly allege that the central government is discriminating against Kerala, I'm compelled to say this, sir. I'm sorry. The CAG audit report, I'm quoting, in 22-23, very important observation, sir. Quote, in 22-23, 97.88% of Kerala's debt receipts were utilized for repayment of outstanding debt. This indicates a poor debt management by the state government, unquote. The second one observation derived from the CAG report, sir, in the fiscal year, I'm not quoting here, in the fiscal year 23-24, Kerala state government allocated, very important, Kerala state government allocated 94,649 crores or 70% of its estimated revenue receipts towards committed expenditure, which is salary, interest and pensions. That's a committed expenditure, sir. And certainly, therefore, the revenues will have to improve. You will have to improve your revenues. And if that is required, you can't constantly say it is because you have not given me my due. Okay, sir? And the last thing which I have to say here, therefore, the truth is Kerala's fiscal crisis is a result of both the UDF and LDF government's reckless policies and not the fault of the central government. All right. So, sir, I want to then say, So did it stop us from doing work in Kerala? No. As I said, Prime Minister Modi doesn't differentiate between states. He does for everybody. So what was given in August 2004, Union Cabinet approved the industrial node in Palakkad. Kannur Airport operationalized under RCS Udan. Site clearance granted for construction of a greenfield airport at Kottayam. Over 1,300 kilometers of national highway constructed in Kerala since 2014. 1,126 kilometers of national highway corridors being developed under Bharatmala Pariyojana in Kerala. India's first water metro inaugurated by PM Modi in April 2023. Kochi Metro inaugurated by PM Modi in 2017. 25 kilometers of rail operationalized since 2014. Huh? Old story. Old story. Money. It is still money. Old story. 60 years ago, when 60 or even more, when when Chief Minister, wait, you are from Communist Party, at least have this kind of a gratitude to remember this. When Namboodiripal's government was thrown out by the Congress. Until today, old as that, not this. You are using these roads even today. You are using these airports even today. But do remember the day when democracy was killed by an elected government being thrown out. Where were you at that time? Is that old or not? Metro abhi chalu nahi hai. Metro chalu nahi hai. Paisa kiske liye? Of course, you are a Communist Party member. You are sitting in alignment with Congress. Congress is the one which throw you out. You don't even want to remember that? Why you bring Namboodiripal? With respects, I will bring Namboodiripal.
That was the
patron of communism in India. You want to forget
Finance Minister. Honorable Finance Minister.
Sir.
That was the first ever left government in the world.
That's right, sir.
Right.
First ever elected communist government in the world. You're right, sir. Thank you for putting in that. Sir, I am astonished that relevance here. You said these are all old. That's old. I want to say, Santosh Kumar ji, sir, these are still in utilization. People are using these ports and everything else even today. And he says this is old. But for me, even that 1959 throwing out the communist government is not old. Shows how Indian democracy was misused by the Congress. I'll never forget that. I'll never forget that. And a Communist Party member tells me what's the relevance of it. It hurts me no end, sir. It hurts me no end. I'm surprised. You should never forget it as long as you're fighting for your ideology. A minute ago you said, in ideology we'll fight with you. Arey, ideology bhul gaye aap. Bhul gaye. Namboodiripal ko bhul gaye bhai. Sir, Kochi Metro inaugurated by Prime Minister Modi in 2017. It is still operational. Santosh Kumar ji uses it, but he says, what is it that's old? He uses it, but he's forgotten. Not even a decade is completed, sir. 25 kilometers metro rail operationalized since 2014. Record railway budget allocation of 3,042 crores. 125 kilometers of new tracks constructed in Kerala since 2014. 2 Vande Bharat trains are started. 35 railway stations are being redeveloped. These are old, maybe for Santosh Kumar, but the people of Kerala remember all this. Social infrastructure, sir. I'll finish with this. 1.6 lakh houses built in PM Awas Yojana. 2.5 lakh household toilets constructed under Swachh Bharat Mission. Over 21 lakh tap water connections provided under Jal Jeevan Mission. 82 lakh Ayushman cards provided. 1,500 plus Jan Aushadhi Kendras operationalized. 66 lakh Jandan accounts opened. Accounts are running even today. People are using it. 1.6 crore mudra accounts sanctioned. They are all now people living in there and benefiting because they were denied all this earlier. Now it's being given. Thank you very much.
ഒത്തില്ല എന്താണ് ഒത്തില്ല ആ മൂപ്പര് ഒപ്പിക്കാൻ നടക്കുക